want you to picture the hottest girl you know. How does she walk into a room? Is she on her phone, kind of like chest down, scared about what people are gonna say? Is she coming off with this desperate, cringy energy to everybody that she's talking to where people are like, I don't really know if this girl knows who she is, why is she talking to me so much? She walks into a room, she commands that room, and there's just some sort of energy that's around her where you're like, I don't know what this girl does, but she knows exactly who she is, and I wanna know more about her. This is the energy that you need to have in sales. And in sales, there's ups and there's downs, and it's so easy to get caught in a sales slump where you just feel rejected. You literally feel like the bottom of somebody's shoe because people are telling you, yourself, you're a sales rep, stop calling me, hang up the phone, and it makes you feel like you're almost bothering them in a sense. You need to master the hot girl energy in order to flip this mindset. You need to master the hot girl mindset in order to flip this energy to make your clients actually think, whoa. This girl knows exactly who she is. She's so confident in what she's selling. There has to be a reason. I'm almost a little bit intrigued. The hot girl mindset, the psychology behind it is a pattern interrupt. A pattern interrupt basically means every single sales rep is coming in with the same energy, which is, they almost feel like it's desperate. They feel like they're chasing people. This is what you cannot be. You have to break the chain of every single sales rep that this client has ever dealt with before. And when you walk into a room knowing your worth and kind of using some psychological tricks, which I'll give you 3 in this video, you will master these sales. Doesn't matter what you're selling, doesn't matter what industry, fuck it. Doesn't even matter if you're selling anything. This is an energy that will level up your life no matter what room you do walk into. So these are 3 psychological tricks on how to actually master this hot girl energy that you can use on your next sales call. Okay, trick number 1 is you need to disassociate from yourself and create your alter ego. So I have a separate YouTube video on how to create this alter ego, but this trick is specifically on disassociating from who you are throughout the sales process. That sounds weird, let me explain. You need to create a character out of yourself as a sales rep. You need to think, who does this person want to buy from? Okay, when I was doing door-to-door sales, selling pest control, like knocking on strangers' doors, selling pest control, I disassociated from myself. I was not me. I was not Shelby Sapp, the girl that was in ASU, sororities, lots of friends, like the Pilates, macho girl. That was not me. I was the bug girl. And this was a character archetype that I would almost step into because that's who somebody would buy pest control from. Do you see what I'm saying? And so my internal closers for She Sells, I teach them to do the exact same thing, and it's helped a lot of them scale to 10, 20K level month marks. So the reason we disassociate, if it sounds unhealthy, it's really not. It's because when you become this character, not only do people want to buy from this character, it also helps you overcome the rejection that you are going to get. People are going to tell you no all the time. But now when they tell you no, they're not telling you no. They're not telling Shelby no. They're telling my bad bitch alter ego no, which honestly hurts a little bit less because the rejection isn't personal. So whatever you're selling, step number 1 is create this character, channel this character, and then you can almost deal with the rejection because they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting the character. On top of that, this gives you a chance to be somebody that you're not. And that's not a bad thing, that's actually a good thing. If you're somebody that's shy, introverted, or just a little bit more submissive, this is your chance to completely scratch that, create a new energy out of yourself that says, you know what, I'm scared, I'm submissive, I don't wanna call these people, but my bad bitch alter ego self, she's so ready to dial, she's so ready to overcome the 3rd, 4th, 5th objection because she doesn't care, she's outgoing, she knows who she is, maybe I don't, but she does. And that energy of allowing yourself to have 2 different personality traits is going to allow you to deal with the rejection a lot quicker, but also kind of make sales fun again, right? And so when you're coming up with your character, you need to decide who your clients would want to buy from, write that down, and become that character. But how you act throughout the entire sales call and interaction with this customer needs to channel what I call the smooth savage. The smooth savage, like she's a savage, she's a bad bitch, she's gonna overcome every single objection, she's gonna tell you exactly what it is, she's gonna be so fucking for real with you if you're somebody that needs to buy this, right? Like she's just a badass, she's a savage. But the smooth part is what you need to master. It's almost like she's so smooth about how she says the objections that you don't even realize that she's overcoming objections. A good example of this would be, rather than just going in for the hard close, like, would you want to schedule your onboarding call on Monday or Tuesday? You would make it a little bit smoother and a little bit more undercover by adding the words, if we were to set this up. Makes it a little bit more of a softer close rather than a hard close. So for example, rather than hard closing them and saying, awesome, did you want to do Monday or Tuesday for the onboarding call? You would say, I'm just looking at our schedule really quick. It kind of fills up fast. So if we were to set this up and just kind of like onboard everything today, like if we were to go for it, would you want to get scheduled for the Monday sessions or the Tuesday sessions? Just so we can make sure that we're free on those days. See how that sounds like a little bit smoother, but you're still being a savage, you're still closing, you're just doing it in a little bit more of a comfortable way. All right, mindset hack number 2 is you need to master the reframe. Reframing will make you successful in business, in friendships, in relationships, in the way that you talk to the little voice inside of your head. A reframe means you can take something at face value, which you're gonna get rejected. You could take that as face value and just be sad all day and mopey all day, but that's gonna make you no money. So you take something at face value and you almost flip it in your head. For example, when somebody tells you no, they're not just saying, no, I'm not interested. You're missing the context. They're telling you, no, I just fired somebody today and I'm in a bad mood. No, my boyfriend just broke up with me and I'm in a terrible mood. No, I just got rear-ended and I don't have time to talk about this. But they don't tell you the context. So every single time you get told no from this point forward, you need to know that you can reframe this in your head by adding context of saying, this person said no, but it's because they had a bad day. Or this person said no because they're just not the right fit. This person said no and thank God because I'm one step closer to a yes. So this concept of reframing the no will help you deal with the no's every single time that you get them. And if you're hearing me talk about reframes and it sounds a little similar, it is. Every single time you get an objection, that's a real objection, not just, I don't have time to talk about this, no. You can reframe this by saying, that's actually the reason a lot of people do like signing up right now, is because rather than asking their wife for permission about something they don't necessarily know too much about, they get to then go tell their wife, hey honey, I actually just signed up for this amazing program that's gonna help us achieve XYZ result together. Or, oh, it's too expensive. You can reframe this to the client by saying, well, that's actually why a lot of people like to go with us, because you get what you pay for. And how nice is it to sign up for something that is a little bit pricier, but you know is going to achieve you the results of XYZ. So not only does mastering the reframe help with dealing with the actual objections with your mindset internally, but it also helps you if you use them with actual objections to reframe the mindset to the clients. That way they're like, oh, well, I didn't think about it that way. That's true. She reframed my no into a yes. It's the classic turning a negative into a positive. That will literally give you the best life. Because when you tell yourself, oh, I'm not good enough, you're not thinking I'm not good enough at face value. You're thinking I'm not good enough, but that's exactly why I'm doing this, because it's bettering my skill set. When you tell yourself, oh, well, I'm not happy with this scenario, it's like, okay, well, I'm not happy with this scenario, which is exactly why I should do it. And that's how you can literally sell the little voice inside of your head that tells you you're not good enough or you're not meant to be here. You take that, don't listen to it at face value, but reframe it in your own mind that says, no, I'm receiving this negative information, but I'm reframing it into a positive, and that's how I'm gonna act. Your life is a result of all of the decisions that you make as a result of your mindset. So when you learn how to control this mindset and reframe your own internal thinking, let alone your clients, like that's gonna make you a lot of money. But the way that you reframe your own mindset will make you successful. Everybody's so obsessed with opportunities or scripts or the actual words of things, when in reality, you can just boil everything down to mastering how to reframe every single scenario. So if you're listening, write down in the comments right now one way that you're reframing, that you're thinking in your head, oh, that's one thing I could reframe, because I want to hear it from you guys. And number 3 is you need to start treating sales in your life like a video game. And the way that you deal with rejection is you actually learn to love it. So the next time you get a no, you need to reframe your mind in order to gamify it by saying, I'm so excited to hear this no, because that means I'm one step closer to a yes. Rejection only gets your mindset down when you have a negative connotation towards that rejection, right? So when you flip this, when you reframe this from a negative to a positive, and you actually chase the rejection, it gets exciting. But when I'm talking about how do I gamify the rejection, well, one simple trick I have is to actually gamify it and give yourself incentives for the rejection. So for example, one thing I do with the internal closers that we have for my sales company is I say, every single time you roll an objection and you get no, and then a yes, you need to track how many times you get told no. And once you hit a certain number, you need to reward yourself. Oh my gosh, I just made 30 dials and people just told me no in 30 different times in a row. Not only does that mean there's a yes up on the other side of the corner because it's literally a law of averages, but I'm gonna go take myself to Chipotle and get guac on the side because I just hit my 30 no's. And so now every single time you get a no, you're still giving yourself a positive because you're like, okay, the yes is obviously a positive, I'm gonna get paid for it, but the no is one step closer to getting a little reward that I give myself. And this brings me into the last piece of this, which is you need to stay stoic. The biggest misconception in sales is that you need to reward yourself on the big days. Oh my gosh, I just closed these many deals, da 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 da, I'm gonna take myself to Aritzia. No bitch, you're not. You know why? Because you just got all of the serotonin from closing those deals. You're already on a sales high because of the amount of money that you just made. Why would you then go reward yourself? Then you're just maxing the amount of serotonin that you're having on your good days. You need to stay stoic, which means staying level and saying, okay, I just had an amazing sales day. I'm gonna shut off my laptop and I'm gonna go do my to-do list. I'm gonna go do my chores. I'm gonna go do what I've been needing to do that I've been putting off because I've been on these damn sales calls. You need to make sure that you're acknowledging the positives, you're happy for yourself that you just hit these goals, but you need to kind of get back to work and stay level. This gives you the ability to have serotonin on your no days and on your sales slumps. Because we've all been there. Sales is rough. When you get told no, 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 you get into this energy, you get into this slump. How do you get out of the slump? You stay stoic. I always tell my sales girls, when they have a rough day, if there's a couple hours where you just made no money and you feel like you're a free therapist almost because you just talked to people all day and made $0, you need to then go and reward yourself. It seems backwards because what a lot of people do is they have a bad sales day or, bad sales call and they're like, oh, I totally could have closed them if I used this objection handling or this reframe. No, reframe it. I just had a bad day, therefore I'm going to treat myself. You're not saying I just had a bad day, therefore I'm gonna be even harder on myself. No, take care of yourself. These are the days where I wrap myself in a little blanket and I say, okay, you know what? What movie do you wanna watch today? You're turning your brain off. You worked so hard, okay? You got no serotonin, no reward during the actual work day. Let's be a little kind to ourselves. Let's be a little nice. So now what you're doing is, you're acknowledging the fact that you're gonna have some high highs, but you're also gonna have some low lows. It's all an average of sales, okay? The best in the game learn how to navigate the highs and the lows by staying stoic. Some of the best sales reps that I train, I'll come to them and I'll say, oh my gosh, you just had an amazing day, like how's it going? And they go, oh yeah, it was a good day. And then those same sales reps where I say, oh my gosh, like I saw, you took all these calls, your closing rate wasn't as good as it normally is, like is everything okay? They'll go, oh yeah, it's totally fine. They are stoic. They are even keeled, cool as a cucumber. And not only is this gonna help you in sales, but it's also gonna help you master your mindset for anything in life. You have a good day, great. Bad days are gonna come around the corner. You need to acknowledge that. You have a bad day, okay, great, okay. And you know a good day is gonna come around the corner. And another little bonus hack I have for you guys is Mel Robbins has her let them theory. That's good. It's a little passive for me. It's a little like, I'm not gonna let anybody do nothing. Like I don't like letting people, let them, whatever, I don't know. I have the saying, okay and, which means, okay, I'm acknowledging it, okay, that's fine, I'm taking it as at face value, but the and is where I'm reframing it. Okay, and what am I gonna do about it? Okay, and what does that even mean in the long run? Okay, and what's the difference that's gonna make in my life in the long scheme of things, right? So this is how you be the hot girl. First of all, hot girl has nothing to do with looks. Nothing. Hot is an energy. Hot means you don't care when you get rejected. Hot means, okay, and that is hot. Bring that energy onto your next sales call, when a friend does you dirty, when a family member lets you down, when there's a little negative voice inside of your head that tells you you're not good enough, when you miss an opportunity. Okay, and what's next? Okay, and what am I gonna do about it? It lets you get the power back into your hands. And that's the thing, is you need to feel control. The hot girl is always in control because she knows whatever's thrown at me, good or bad, okay, and? Because sales is not about being positive. It's about being powerful. You're not here to beg. You're here to stay stoic and play the long game. If you're able to play the long game in sales, you will win. It is a numbers game. So disassociate, reframe it, gamify it, whatever you need to do in order to step into this hot girl energy, channel your alter ego, and take your power back in sales. Because I know a lot of you listening to the voice of my words right now, you don't feel in control. You don't feel powerful, but you are. It's just in the way that you reframe your mindset, that you channel this energy, and that you gamify the long game of sales. So I love you guys so much. Let me know what you think, and if you have any questions, I will be in the comments answering them, and let me know what other topics you guys want to hear from me, and like and subscribe. Love y'all.